Hello and welcome to a brand new series. This is Zebu Nation Plays Football Manager 2017. That's right, the beta is out, so I figured I'd better jump on the wagon while it's still rolling. I don't know if that's a real analogy or whatever, saying, phrase, but you know what, I'm using it. So I dipped into the beta a little bit and played around with it. So I'm starting a new team, a new season. And once again, I decided on the MLS because that's kind of what I enjoy, and also because there's some new teams in the MLS. I was very excited to see this because I wanted to work on building a team rather than, just grabbing an established team and be in the thick of things immediately. So I was actually thinking about going over to some of the smaller leagues since they don't allow smaller league play here in the MLS. You can only play the MLS. You can't play any of the other divisions. So I was excited to see that they've included two new expansion teams for the MLS. If you don't know, the MLS is really looking to expand in the next few years. Apparently, they've got two teams coming in 2017. I wasn't sure. I didn't know it was that quick, but I guess it is. I know they're looking at cities such as Memphis and Detroit and other places like that. Other big cities, other cities that have somewhat of a soccer tradition. But what I've decided to do is in my other save, I've got two saves going on. One is just sort of a mess around private save. And for that, I've taken the new Atlanta team. And that's an interesting team if you want to have a real challenge starting from absolute scratch. Like take the Atlanta team because they have almost no players on their whole team. Like their whole roster is like 6 guys who are out on loan and then a bunch of just rando generated like scrubs. So that team is really just starting from scratch, starting from rock bottom. Now the other expansion team is Minnesota. And what I've decided to do is take Minnesota but do the Build-a-club. And so basically I've erased Minnesota and I've created my own home club here, Lansing United. I didn't want to show you the whole process because the whole process of making a club was a little bit boring, a little bit frustrating because of the naming situation. There's two things. First, you probably know if you've tried Build a Club before, is that you can't name a club exactly the same as a club that exists. Even apparently clubs that don't exist in this game, because I've never seen Lansing United anywhere in the game, but they wouldn't let me name the club that. So I had to name the club Lansing FC United, which is like dumb, but that's what I had to do. The other thing is that there's a glitch right now in the beta, which is if you choose to build an American club, you can only build it in Washington, D.C. If you try to build it in any other city, it just won't let you do it. So I sat there for like, I don't know, half an hour trying to figure out how do I get this stupid thing to work. But yeah, I finally had to go online and look it up. They've got forums for this kind of thing. And I saw in there that one person said the only place they could build it was Washington, D.C., so I tried that and it worked. So we are not in Lansing, Michigan, where we should be. Instead, we're in Washington, D.C., but that's fine. I've imported the team's logo here. As you can see, it's kind of a cool logo. I like it, the little star. That's kind of a thing here in Lansing, is the star. We've had a lot of different sports teams over the years named the Stars, and we're the capital city, so it's sort of a thing here. So they've incorporated that logo. That's nice. They've got good, nice colors. I've always loved that sort of Carolina blue that they've got. Blue and reds go together. And I've tried to recreate their jerseys and uniforms as best I could. They didn't quite have the pattern for their primary jersey. Their primary jersey is blue like this, dark blue, and it has the lighter blue, but it's got a way different pattern up top. So I just picked this pattern, just the double chevrons, because I kind of like that. But this is pretty much what their away jersey looks like, is the white with the blue stripes, kind of Argentinian in color. And then I picked a third. I don't even know if they have a red third jersey, but I think they do. I think I've seen them play that once or twice. But this is a young club. They don't have much history, honestly. I think they've only been around for 3 years now. But, they're growing in stature. They're certainly not MLS quality or anything like that. But it's fun to have a local team. And what's interesting about this first season, the 2016 season for the two expansion clubs, if you choose to pick one of them, is they don't start out in MLS. They start out nowhere, basically. As you can see here, Minnesota will start out in the American Second Division, but I don't really have a schedule at the moment because they don't allow you to play lower leagues. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to build a schedule of friendlies, and I'm just going to play a whole season worth of friendlies, just to have something to do, to try to get some income for my club and things like that. Try to build up my players. Let's see, there's something else I wanted to mention about this. Oh yeah, Atlanta. The Atlanta club starts out with nothing. They start out with no league, no nothing. So that's what I did with the Atlanta club. Is I just built my schedule with a bunch of friendlies and am going from there. So basically, if you take one of the expansion teams, you've got a whole season to try and build your club from the free agent market, basically, or from the transfer market. Now, if you want, like I said, Atlanta has no players, but they've got a pretty decent budget. They've got, I think, $1.5 million transfer budget, which is decent for MLS club. So you can build some there. You can build through just picking up some pretty decent free agents and things like that. So if you want that challenge, you can have that challenge. But with Minnesota, they came with a decently stocked team already. As you can see here, we got some fairly decent players. I don't trust these star ratings at the moment because I don't have a coaching staff. It's another thing you start out with. You don't really start out with much of a coaching staff. You see here, right now my coaching staff is one assistant coach, one goalkeeping coach apparently. Oh yeah, one goalkeeping coach. So that's wonderful. And then I've got one director of football operations, and that's it. So I've sent out some adverts to try and get some coaches in. Hopefully they'll start coming in shortly. I've decided for this team, this go around, I'm gonna try to do things, make things difficult for myself. I guess I'm not gonna like scour the scoutings. I'm not gonna scour the. I could go over here to the staff search and just find staff people and sign them, and that's a little too easy. It's a little too unrealistic. I saw a thing online once of like building your club realistically and sort of only getting people through placing adverts and only scouting players that your scouts suggest or something like that. So I'm going to try to do some similar things with this team. One just to make it fun, and another just out of necessity. So the basic philosophy for this team is I'm going to try to build it through my academy and through the MLS draft and through like inexpensive players. Because unlike Atlanta, Minnesota has no finances whatsoever. Atlanta has like a $30 million war chest. And as you can see here, Minnesota, or now Lansing United, we have $143,000, which is nothing. That's, that's not even a year's worth of wages for our guys. That's not, that won't pay anybody. It's not going to pay the bills. So I don't know what the board's going to do. I don't know if they're going to get some funding from somewhere, because we have the MLS payroll budget. We got a $3.5 million budget, but our team only has $143,000 in the bank, so that's no good. So yeah, and the other thing over here, transfer budget wise, we have zero transfer budget, so we're not going to get anybody, and only 35% of our transfer revenue is made available. So everything that every player we sell, most of it's going to just go to club finances, just to keep the lights on, I guess. So it's going to be difficult, but it's kind of realistic from one of these teams trying to make its way into the MLS. I like it, especially the fact that I've chosen to create my home club here. Because really, if they raised $143,000, they would be over the moon, I think. Because that's a lot of money for a fourth or fifth division team, whatever they are. I don't even know what the division is. I don't think they're even NPSL. They're trying to get there. I think they might be there next season, but it's not where they started. So yeah, here we go. We'll take a look at our team, just so you can get an idea of who we got. We got Chris Clute. I think I recognize this guy's name. I think he's played for the. No, he hasn't got no caps. But I recognize this name. I don't know who he played for, if he was a college star or something, but I've heard that name before. And he's on loan to us from Portland. So he's an MLS quality player, so that's good, I guess. Some things you'll notice, the screens are a little different. They're a little more colorful, a little more interesting, more information per page. You can see you got the cap impact of this guy just right there on the screen. All this kind of stuff. They have these little notes over here as well. Anytime you bring up a screen, your coaching staff might have an idea about that screen, so you can click on that little yellow icon and they'll bring up something they want to tell you. I think you should put Chris Clute on individual training regime to improve his positioning, as he would significantly benefit from that. So sure, why not? I'll start that training for him. So that's kind of cool. I think they've tried to really improve the UI experience here, just from what I've experienced from 2017. So things are looking good. I think they've done a good job. There haven't been a ton of glitches. I mentioned the one glitch in the Build-a-team. I don't think MLS is the only league suffering from that problem with Build-a-team. I've heard other teams from other places also having the same problem. The game has crashed on me once, so I've tried to save early and often, but so far it's been pretty steady over about maybe, I don't know, 6-7 hours of play, I suppose, at most. Not a ton. Board. I haven't even hardly read my email, honestly, on this. Let's see. Welcome to Lansing United. So we'll attend our first meeting. I want to assure you the full backing of the board. Wouldn't have hired if we didn't think that's right. Great. Let's get started. As was mentioned in your welcome message, the club has no philosophies, so that's good. I don't feel a meeting is required. I'm pleased to have been given the freedom to coach the team without having to meet any specific philosophies. That's good. Now I'm going to hand you over to your assistant coach. This seems pretty much like 2016, where they do all this coaching stuff. One final note on club responsibilities, which you can handle by yourself or other members. Feel free to adjust the staff responsibilities within the club as you see fit. Okay, thanks again for the meeting. I hope for a long and successful career. So here's my assistant coach, Donnie Mark. I didn't know I had an assistant coach. Yes, I do. I think I just put out an ad for an assistant coach, so that might not be good. Questions running the day-to-day. I've written a report. Yes, please, it would be great to get an opinion. Would you like me to arrange a meeting with your staff? Sure, that would be good. Would you like me to help you with any tasks at the club? Thanks for your help, but no thanks. Go away. Alright, so this concludes the meeting. Okay, don't want to make any board requests. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Okay, we'll exit that. We'll look at the club in general here. Look at, so we have DeMartin Stadium. That's the actual stadium that Lansing United plays at. It's actually a college stadium, but it's a pretty new, pretty nice college stadium. 12,000 people. That's kind of more than their stadium actually seats, but that's fine. That's a good quality stadium. Let's see. General information. So we are in the second division right now. Our nickname is Lan U, in case you care. We have no rivals, obviously. We have a value of 3.2 million. That's good for us. Facilities is what I wanted to really look at. Apparently, the heater just kicked on. Apparently, we're in Blaine, Minnesota, which they didn't allow me to change that. Even though we're supposed to be in Washington, D.C. So it's our club in Washington, D.C., and our stadium is in Blaine, Minnesota. So that's good. That's good to know. That's going to be interesting for our fans to figure out. And we're Lansing United, so we're all messed up. Rent 10% of gate receipts. Okay, that's I guess that's good. It means we don't actually pay anything. Stadium condition is good. That's not great. No heating under the soil, which is not good for a place that is in Minnesota. Length is standard. Field conditions are good. Adequate corporate facilities. Impressive training facilities. That's good. Poor youth facilities is no good. We got to try to fix that. But I think it's going to take a long time. And our training ground is Bielenberg Sports Center in Woodbury, Minnesota. So we're all over the joint. Basic junior coaching. Fairly basic youth recruitment. So we need to change some of that stuff. I don't know. Do we want to networking? Is there anything we can do? Facilities, finance, increase junior coaching budget, cut back youth recruitment. That's not what we want to do. All right. So we don't want to do any of that just yet. Let's take a look at our emails and such. This is in case you didn't know a lot of the terminology. Various symbols. They've got some new symbols here. Teamwork. That's a new little close-knit symbol. Passing. Aggression. I haven't seen some of these symbols before, but yeah, that's a rundown of the symbols. Introductory advice. Recommendation: use the transfer market because we've got poor facilities. So, I mean, I appreciate the advice, but doesn't really help us out here, quite frankly, because we got no transfer budget. I think I adjusted all my free kick takers, didn't I? Oh, they didn't save that. I think it crashed in the middle of me. I'd done all this. Like normally when I play a season, I forget all this until like the last game of the season, basically. This time I had done all that and whatever. Um, let's see. It's been a decent amount of time, I think. So we'll end this here as an intro video, or will we? I guess we didn't really look at the squad much. I started to look at the squad, but then I stopped. So I don't know if you recognize any of these names. I do not recognize any of these names other than the vague Chris Clute recommendation. But again, I've got a couple of players on loan here. Damian Lowe. He's on loan from, I don't know if there's an easier way to see this, but he's another guy on loan from Seattle. Bernardo Añor, where is he from? He is from Sporting Kansas City. So we got a few MLS quality dudes on the team. I kind of right now have to go with this formation, the Burning Man formation. It's a formation I used with the Japanese national team. I kind of liked it because I have wingers on this team that are pretty good, and two of my best young players in my academy are also wingers, a left winger and a right winger. So I think this season and the coming seasons I'm going to be stuck with using wingers, even though it's not really what I enjoy. Especially if this team has pretty decent fullbacks. Clute, you look at that, he's got 13 crossing. He's a guy who can go on the attack, and same with Davis, 12 crossing, and he can go on the attack. So this could be an interesting season with a lot of crosses going in to Ramirez, who's going to be target man, I suppose. Yeah, I don't really know what to say about these guys because I haven't seen them play yet. And if you look at the competitions, the only competition I'm in is the U.S. Cup, and that's not coming around until June. So I got a lot of work to do, building schedules, messing with the roster, doing transfers and stuff like that. So I'll do that a little bit off screen, and then I'll come back with a match in my next video. So there you go. Introduction to the MLS for Football Manager 2017. All right, bye.